She's like, oh, none of the outside pumps will work. And I'm like, really? Why? She's like, they're all frozen.
I'm really hoping that it's just the road. The road's tilted, right? The road's tilted. Look at the poor bikes. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we're gonna have to limp somewhere because this is just, it's like the worst thing in the worst place. Welcome back to No Ordinary Path. I'm here with my beautiful wife in lovely Colorado.
Where it's been sunny every single day that we've been here.
We're back. We've had a little bit of time off as we've been traveling all the way down from Anchorage to our next destination, which we actually haven't still nailed down yet.
So we're in transit.
These hospital bureaucracy, but not to worry.
So right now we are what we are calling in between the contracts, which we did on the way to Alaska as well. So this will be kicking off a short mini series, hopefully short, until we get to our next destination. All right, but for now, we had a little bit of drama as soon as we entered Canada, didn't we?
Oh, big surprise.
Big surprise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So roll the film.
Roll that footage.
Roll that footy.
I feel like this is like a taste of what it's probably like here in the wintertime. She's like, oh, none of the outside pumps will work. And I'm like, really? Why? She's like, they're all frozen. I'm like, they're frozen? Yeah, they're frozen. Just choose one of the inside ones that's outside of the wind. You'll be fine. Okay. So now I'm waiting for propane. They've got a mechanic that's going to come out and do it.
So if the pumps freeze, does that mean that your diesel in the back of the truck can freeze?
It can, which is why I put a diesel supplement into it to keep it. It doesn't really freeze. It turns to gel. The diesel fuel up here already has it added to it, so it doesn't gel. But for the ones in the back there, yeah, I've got a little thing in it to keep it from gelling up.
So our test expires tomorrow morning. We're trying to get across the border and then hunker down. Most people here at the gas station are traveling south. They're trying to get out of Alaska. This snowstorm is supposed to happen all the way through Wednesday. So we couldn't wait it out here in Alaska even if we wanted to, unless we got a different COVID test. Here we go. We actually have a caravan now. We have another person following us so that we can just stick together and safety in numbers and all of that. All these people trying to cross the border because you have to cross within your 72 hours. So, like, yeah, or figure something else out. It's very logistically challenging.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that you got the stairs down. Yeah, that's the stuff that keeps coming off on the road. See, what happens is it gets so thick under there that eventually it just falls off and I roll over it. Made it to customs. Good, how are you? Oh, my door's all wet. I'll just hand you. I'll just have one and a dog.
And traveling with the vehicle in front of you?
Yes.
Great, you're all set.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. That was a stinking breeze compared to the last time we crossed the border. Holy moly. We are in Canada. I think I was at the window for, I recorded it, probably 2 minutes. Every time we go over a bump and the trailer bounces, I just get this ooh, ooh, ooh. I really hope that she doesn't fall apart.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out.
This section of the road, we're on our way, we're near Destruction Bay, which I feel like is named that for a reason. I don't know if it has to do with the road, but that's definitely a very bad part of the Alcan. So, I just really hope that we don't break anything. right. That's the place that we've broken leaf springs before. So we're gonna stop and check it, and I'm really hoping that it's just the road. The road's tilted, right? The road's tilted.
They're coming to kick you!
Those are wicked cool looking.
Aren't they cool? Don't jump!
Look at your Jeep though. It's got like scales.
Your Jeep
Oh my gosh! Oh my god. We said that we'd seen her the dirtiest she's ever been, but I don't know.
It's just amazing how they look like scales.
Yeah.
I really can't tell. It does look like they're bending the other way, the opposite way.
Like it's not broken, it's just frozen.
Yep, right there. That just stinks. Can't tell if it's... I want to make sure it's not resting on the propane line, but I think that it might be. I can't tell.
John was able to see that it was not in fact resting on the propane line, thankfully. We were in the middle of the Yukon, with no services, including cell phone, for over 150 kilometers in either direction. We decided to limp to Haines Junction and take our chances instead of paying for a really expensive tow.
Breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look at the colors around.
So we're on the Alcan. This is the Yukon area, and it just kind of stinks because, number one, I always said I never wanted to drive in any kind of Alaskan or Canadian snowstorm. And we still really haven't, not what I consider those things. This was just like a breeze-through storm that dropped a lot of moisture and ice, unfortunately. So there's not much accumulation on the roads, so they're not that bad. Four-wheel drive, at 35 miles an hour, and you're okay. It's just the ice accumulation that stinks because it's coming up off the road.
Yeah.
So all of these things, underneath, that's what you're seeing is all this ice down here. But the ice is also breaking some stuff too as it flies off. So we lost our light housing. This light still works.
Yeah.
But down here, like this is the tape that goes underneath this bottom lip.
And
this stuff is all broken off.
Yeah, it's just like as the ice breaks off, it's breaking things off with it.
You can see how thick it is. It's pretty thick.
Look at the poor bikes. Oh my gosh.
I mean, see how thick that ice is?
Yeah. And the scales on your truck are epic.
Yeah. The snow on the ground, even though we're driving slow, I can't see the frost heaves as well. And some of them are just that bad. So even if you're only going 30 miles an hour, if you hit them just right, it'll really jolt you. And of course, we broke another leaf spring. The same one we always break. I don't know if it's a design flaw. Somebody said, well, they think maybe it's the refrigerator that's being there, but we don't have that much food in it. I don't know, but it's always in that same spot. And this is the heavy duty ones that we had installed, by Cliffs Welding in Phoenix.
And with the better axles.
The rest of the suspension is doing great, but it's the same freaking leaf spring that's broken 3 times now. Haines Junction is 14 miles up the road. We're going to go up there and see if we can't, by some miracle, find something. Or Whitehorse, I think, is another, 70 miles from that. So if we have to, we'll drive to Whitehorse. This isn't the first time we've had to drive on a busted leaf spring. I checked underneath of it. That was fun last night in the rain and snow to make sure it's not hitting the propane line or anything like that. And it's not. It's just resting on the frame. So it's not an ideal situation, but it's okay to drive if you have to. You're going to have to limp somewhere because this is just, it's like the worst thing in the worst place. Well, it's not the worst thing.
Yukon in a snowstorm.
It's just a bad situation being in the Yukon where there's not much services. It'll be a miracle. It'll be a blessing if there's one available that will fit.
Okay, it's time to see if we can find a fix. We're headed into Haines Junction, fingers crossed. Prayers said. Even though all this stuff is happening and we drove through a snowstorm and we broke another leaf spring and we're out in the Yukon on the Alcan, I feel like we have been so protected. John made a comment last night that was super funny. He said he felt like God was just basically duct taping our stuff together to get us to the next spot. That's what it felt like, because we drove until it got dark, and then we were trying to find a place to pull over. We went to bed just feeling so thankful that we're all fine, like we're all healthy. Even if something happens and we can't pull the trailer anymore, we have a second vehicle, we can go get help. Like, we can go stay in a hotel, we're close to Haynes Junction, we're okay. Thankful for that, even through all of the mishaps.
Down here, I saw the sign. I don't see the building. Like, where's it at?
Well, that was a no-go. Guy at the gas station said that it was open and the garage was open, but I don't know which garage because there was no signs. And everyone has a garage here. So we're gonna go on to. It looked a little shady. We're gonna go to Whitehorse. We're gonna limp to Whitehorse. So fingers crossed that we make it and we don't damage anything else.
Anyone else would go back inside, but we set out to walk 1,000 good miles from our home.
Love you.
Love you too.
Behind as their slow fires die down.
We're entering Whitehorse. We're hoping that we're gonna find some services here to help us fix our broken leaf spring.
To walk 1,000 good miles from our hometown. 1,000 good miles.
Let's go get some food.
Piled in here. Do you have an update for me?
I think we might get really lucky if he's got the springs. He's gonna take a look at it. God bless them. They're like, oh, they're tourists. You know, they got.
Oh no!
He's got. Hey, Paul, you come to want to take a look at this tourist here? He's got a sad story. Oh, they're both saying very, very nice. But he's gonna take a look at what it all is. And
See what they can do.
See what they can do. Well, we're gonna go get some food. Let's go get some food.
Okay.
Aaron and I are standing outside of Jacob's Industries, which is a welding shop here in Whitehorse. Where are we at? Yukon territory,
Yes.
I think is what it's called. And there's Wendy back there.
Yes.
I know it's kind of loud around here. Hopefully they can hear well enough. What are they doing?
They're working on the leaf spring that we broke.
Okay, so the leaf spring was not broken. It just bent. So you can sort of see it from this angle. There are these clips that are supposed to keep them all together. And it bent here and here to the point that it twisted itself off like this completely. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So they didn't break. They're still heavy duty.
They're still heavy duty. They're just
Do you think the ice had anything to do with that?
maybe.
Because it was so built up underneath there.
I mean, it could get in here and freeze maybe and expand and cause them to bend. I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty wild to me. Okay, she's all done. Thank you, Jacob's Industries in Whitehorse, Yukon territory. I would recommend them. Seems like a good, honest shop. New leaf springs. And then they only replaced one. Initially, I had thought that they were replacing all four of them, but that's not what he did. He just put new brackets around them. What was happening is they're twisting a little bit. And they had these little spring brackets on there to kind of hold them in place. He reinforced all of those and then greased all the bolts and shackles and stuff from the More Ride kit that we have, just to kind of prepare for the wet and slush that we may run into. Hopefully we're done with that though. It's time to go. Boondocking.
Yeah.
Boondocking recipes with Kristen.
This is like really fast, easy potato soup and croissants. Totally packaged, but I mean, just add water. Got all the things you need? Yes. Well, it's another beautiful snowy day in the Yukon. If you remember, we took 24 hours to get through the Yukon last time. This is our third day on the way down. And we're not even sightseeing, we're just driving really slow because we thought we were out of the snow, but not quite. We got the slides in right away so they didn't get snow caked on top of them, and then we just had breakfast with all the slides pulled in and everything, and now we're loading up the cars. The Alcan looks like it's not sticking too bad. We hope that we can get ahead of the snowstorm and hunker down at Laird Hot Springs. That is the destination. That's where we're trying to get to, is Laird Hot Springs. We're gonna camp there in their campground. We thought we were gonna have a chance to see the Northern Lights on the way out. I figured we'd have content either way. We'd either have snow because it was cloudy, or we would have Northern Lights. So you get snow for content, not Northern Lights. That's okay. Headed into Watson Lake, where we're gonna get gas and have lunch and finally see the signpost forest. Lunchtime! I think that's about all of the time that we have today. My way out of this maze of signs, and we're gonna head on to Laird River Hot Springs. To the hot springs?
To the hot springs. Let's do it. I'm stoked.
Me too. Come on, burn it up. Burn it up, burn it up. Hi, buddy.
After 3 days in the Yukon through snow, ice, and broken leaf springs on the Alcan, we were more than ready to relax in the hot springs. But what we didn't know was that our vehicle troubles weren't quite over. Which one would be next? Join us next week as we drive through Jasper and Banff National Parks on our way down to the border. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you out there.